Hey, what's going on, my fellow plant lovers? You guys have tuned into Dat Plant Dude, and today we're going to be looking at what I believe is my Philodendron Pedatum. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, or if you think this is a different plant. There seems to be a lot of confusion around the Philodendron Squamniferums, the Philodendron Pedatums, which I believe is what I have here, and then the Philodendron Florida Beauties. And what I think even murkies the water even more is the fact that there's a lot of hybrids, which are combinations of the two. So I had thought that I made a video kind of introducing this guy to you guys already, and apparently I hadn't when I checked the channel. But it does seem like a lot of people are interested in this plant, and the reason I say that, this channel is pretty new. I believe I only got 3, maybe 4 videos tops on this channel. And my first video ever was a video kind of explaining the differences between the Squamniferum, the Pedatum, and the Philodendron Florida Beauty. And we'll dive into that a little bit on this video. If you didn't see the other one, I'll also link to it in the description box below. It's a worthwhile video to check out, but a lot of people are confused. It seems like if you have any one of these 3 plants, people refer to them as Florida Beauties. I think this is partially because they all look very similar and people are confused. And I also think there's a lot of people out there who are selling plants as Florida Beauties or Florida Ghosts. And in reality, they're either Squamniferums or Pedatums, and they're just trying to eke out a little bit of extra money. So let's take a look at this guy. Now, when I first bought this guy, I got him at a nursery in the Chicago suburbs. And when I initially got him, all it had was this leaf, and like a little nub of a stem. This leaf is all new. This leaf is all new. And that growth right there is new. This was the first leaf to pop out right here. So basically when I bought it, it had this, it had that leaf. And then it had a little bit of a stem, which ultimately wound up being that leaf. When I got this plant, it was in pretty rough shape. I don't know if you guys can see. It only had 2 leaves. This leaf was almost completely chewed off by, I don't know, mites or something. And it's really only being held on by the vein. This leaf wasn't looking too hot. They actually had a ton of Florida Beauties at the nursery I went to, but I guess all of them were reserved. And when I went up to the register with a couple of them, the girl told me, no, you can't buy these. For whatever reason, she let me buy this one. It was only $7.99. I'm guessing she let me buy it because it was in such rough shape. They probably didn't even care if they kept it for one of the people who had it reserved. But again, when I first got it, just had these 2 little weenie leaves. As you can see, the first leaf to pop was this one right here. When it first came out, it was a bright, vibrant kind of neon green or lime green. And then we had kind of another little stalk coming up. Well, eventually that wound up sprouting into this leaf. And I think this leaf and the stalk holding it are even bigger and healthier than the first one. This leaf, when it came out, was like a little bit kind of deformed. But as you can see, this plant's doing very well. The other day when I started making this video, my camera never wants to focus, but right at the top there, you can see there's some new growth popping out. And I think we can start to see, okay, can you guys see that? Basically, we're about to have another leaf here unfurl. Now, one thing that's kind of interesting about this plant, maybe we'll head over to the kitchen. I think I might actually be a little bit better in this light here for what we're trying to do. Can you guys see? You guys see there's like droplets. There's a droplet there. There's a droplet there. There's a droplet there. There's another droplet there. This plant like oozes this kind of like syrupy, clear syrupy kind of goo. And it kind of winds up attracting bugs. I have had a little bit of problem with seeing spider webs and spider mites on this plant, but it's actually held up pretty well. I think the Philodendron Pedatum is a fairly easy plant to grow. I have mine right here on one of the lower shelves of this thing right here. So I mean, it's getting some filtered light from a cheap Chinese grow light. And so You don't want to have this plant in a dark space, but I think filtered light, or some, just like a little bit of light from a grow light, if you kind of have it outside of the range of the grow light, and this thing will do just fine. Will I have had a little bit of problem with mites? The plant has seemed to held up pretty well, and I've been able to get rid of them without really too many issues. Hasn't really yellowed, haven't had any leaves fall off. So overall, I would say this is a fairly easy plant to care for. As you can see here, it is, I mean, it's pretty leggy, right? Like, this is a pretty long stem and a pretty big leaf to be held by, you know, kind of a skinny stem like that, and even more so like this one. So I am going to need to get some type of pole or moss pole or something like that to give this guy some support. Also, I think it's kind of outgrown its little 4-inch pot here. I think these plants do like to be somewhat root bound, so I'll probably go up to maybe a 6-inch pot, and I think we'll see a little bit more growth. This is really cool here. So we got kind of like a pink, pinkish color there, and you guys can see that new growth and that new leaf. I would guess within the next couple days we'll really start to see that new leaf unfurl, and they tend to unfurl pretty quick. But then the last step of the leaf actually unrolling normally tends to take a couple of days. One thing I really want to try to show you, and this is kind of the main way to tell if you have a Squamniferum or a Pedatum. Okay, if I put my hand behind her, you see those dots there? Okay, now there you can really see the goo that I was talking about there. But you see how this is kind of textured? It almost looks like sandpaper. That's kind of the telltale sign of a Pedatum. Let's see if we can see it on. Same thing there, right? You see that kind of gritty sandpaperness? That's basically the telltale sign of a Pedatum. A Squamniferum is going to look fairly similar, but it's going to have almost more of a fuzz. It's going to have almost what looks like Velcro fuzz on the stem. And then if you have a Florida Ghost or a Florida Beauty Ghost, those ones are going to be pretty rare, so chances are you don't have one of those. But typically the easiest way to tell those is the variegation on the leaves. I forget what the stems on those ones actually look like, but the leaves are going to be variegated. I guess if your plant's not getting a lot of light or doesn't get enough food, that variegation may go away. But generally speaking, it's going to be pretty easy to tell a Florida Ghost. And again, a Pedatum is going to kind of have this gritty sandpaper texture on here. A Squamniferum is going to have kind of a fuzz or a hair on them. However, where things are getting more complicated is people are making hybrids and mixing the two plants. And then it may have some characteristics of the Pedatum and some characteristics of the Squamniferum. One other thing I tend to notice, and you know, you look at different pictures of plants and some of them are going to look completely different. But with the Pedatum, at least from what I see, the leaves tend to be kind of this shape. They tend to be skinnier leaves. With the Squamniferum, you're going to see some different kind of styles and shapes of leaves, and the leaves are going to tend to be a little bit fatter. So that's another way to kind of tell. If you guys, I guess, kind of disagree with me and my assessment of what this plant is, feel free to drop a comment down below and chime in. If you guys have any better ways of telling the difference between a Squamniferum and a Pedatum, let me know that. Anything else you guys have to add, let me know. I thought you guys might like to see this video, and I'll keep you updated on the progress of this plant and maybe show you guys once this guy here unfurls. But you know, these are really cool plants. They're very unique. I notice they tend to be pretty popular. And like I said, the first video I ever made on this channel, which this channel is pretty new, only has 3 videos, already has like 2,700 views. So that tells me that this is a plant and a topic that you guys are interested in. And it's no wonder people like this plant. Look at that. I mean, it's a beautiful leaf. I love kind of the different like hues of green, beautiful shape to the leaf. And I like when the new leaves come out. I love kind of the neon green color that they have to them. But that's all I got for you guys today. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you want to keep up with this guy's updates as well as the rest of my little plant garden, which you can see there. We got a giant fiddle leaf fig, elephant ear, money tree. We got a bunch of cuttings going there. We got a monstera. I forget what that Florida palm is. I picked up this guy the other day. You guys may have seen the video. African mask plant, Lowe's, only 20 bucks. Got the money tree. got a cactus, got Fernando, our ponytail palm there, and a number of other things. So if you guys want to keep up with our little plant garden, our little plant journey, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video.